Have you ever loved someone so deeply it felt like God placed them in your life, yet every force around you seemed determined to destroy that love? This is the story of Amma Mensah from Accra and Joshua Reed from a quiet rural town in Tennessee, and how God turned the impossible into a living testimony of his power. Amma had always believed that love was simple. You meet someone, you fall in love, you build a life together. But everything changed the day she matched with Joshua on a Christian dating app her friend had convinced her to try. She almost swiped past his profile. An American man living in the countryside? What could they possibly have in common? But something made her stop. His bio was simple: farmer, follower of Christ, looking for someone who puts God first. She sent a message, not expecting much. 3 hours later, he replied. And from that first conversation, something shifted in both their hearts. They lived in two completely different worlds. Amma was navigating the chaos of Accra, working long hours as a nurse at Ridge Hospital, while helping to raise her two younger siblings after their mother passed away 3 years ago. Her days started at 5 in the morning with prayers, then a hurried commute through traffic-choked streets, 12-hour shifts, and late evenings helping her sister with homework. She was tired, stretched thin, and had long stopped believing that love was something she had time for. Joshua lived thousands of miles away in a small town outside Nashville, helping his aging parents run the family farm that had been in their name for 4 generations. His days were filled with feeding cattle, mending fences, and sitting on the porch with his father discussing crops and scripture. He was quiet, steady, and had watched most of his childhood friends marry and settle down while he waited, praying for a woman who loved God more than comfort. And somehow, across an ocean and 2 continents, their souls connected. Their love grew through late-night prayers over grainy video calls, shared scriptures sent in the middle of the afternoon, and whispered dreams about what life could look like if God made a way. The distance was heavy, but their hearts felt light. They talked about faith, about family, about fears they had never told anyone else. Amma told him about her mother's death and how she had cried herself to sleep for months, wondering if God had forgotten her. Joshua told her about the accident that took his younger brother 5 years ago and how he still struggled with guilt. They prayed together across time zones. They fasted together when one of them faced a hard week. They believed, truly believed, that God had knit them together for a purpose. Then reality arrived like a storm. Joshua's mother grew concerned. She had heard stories on the news about online scams, about people from other countries pretending to be in love just to get money or a visa. One evening over dinner, she finally spoke. "Son, I just want you to be careful. You don't really know this girl. What if she's not who she says she is?" Joshua felt torn. He believed in Amma with everything in him, but how could he prove that to his parents without sounding naive? Meanwhile, in Accra, her family questioned her too. Her aunt was the most vocal. "Amma, you're wasting your time. How will you meet this man? What if the visa doesn't work? Do you know how much it costs to even try? And what if you get there and he's not the person you think he is?" Even her pastor pulled her aside after service one Sunday. "Sister Amma, I'm not saying this isn't from God, but you need to be wise. Long-distance relationships are hard, international ones even harder." The more they tried to move forward, the more every door seemed to shut. Amma applied for a visa to visit Joshua. The first application was denied. "Insufficient ties to home country," the letter said. She cried for 2 days straight. Joshua tried to comfort her over the phone, but the distance felt unbearable. "I'm so sorry, Amma. We'll try again. We'll figure it out." But even he started to wonder, was this too hard? Were they trying to force something that wasn't meant to be? Financial challenges piled up. The visa application fee was expensive. Then there were the travel costs, the documents, the legal consultations. Amma worked extra shifts at the hospital, barely sleeping, trying to save. Joshua sold some equipment from the farm and sent her money, but she refused to take it. "I don't want your family thinking I'm after your money," she said firmly. Joshua understood, but it broke his heart. time zones became a battlefield. Amma would stay up until 2 in the morning to talk to him, then drag herself to work exhausted. Joshua would wake at 4 in the morning to catch her before her shift started. They began snapping at each other out of sheer tiredness. "You don't understand what I'm dealing with here," Amma said one night, voice strained. "I'm trying, Joshua, but I'm so tired." "I know," Joshua replied, equally exhausted. "But I feel like I'm losing you, like the distance is winning." They would apologize, pray together, and promise to do better, but the weight kept growing. Doubts crept in. Amma started wondering if maybe everyone was right. Maybe this was too hard. Maybe God was trying to tell her something through all these closed doors. One night, after a particularly long and exhausting day at the hospital where she had lost a patient she had been caring for all week, Amma sat on her bed with tears rolling down her face. The house was quiet. Her siblings were asleep. She opened her journal and wrote, "Lord, is this too hard? Are we trying to do something impossible? I love him, I know I do, but I'm so tired. I don't know if I have the strength to keep fighting for this. Please, if this isn't your will, close the door completely. But if it is, I'm begging you, make a way. I can't do this on my own anymore." That same night in Tennessee, Joshua stepped out of his house into the cold evening air. The stars were bright above the farm. He walked to the edge of the field, knelt down on the cold ground, and whispered the same prayer his heart had been screaming for weeks. "God, I don't know what to do anymore. I love her. I believe you brought us together, but every step forward feels like we're hitting a wall. If this is your will, show us. Give us a sign. Give us strength." Days later, they decided together to fast and pray for 3 days, seeking God's direction above their emotions, above their fears, above the noise of everyone else's opinions. They wanted to hear from God clearly. On the 3rd day of the fast, Amma woke up early and opened her Bible randomly. It fell open to Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. She read the words slowly. Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." She froze. Her hands trembled as she read it again. It felt like God himself was speaking directly into her heart. That same morning, Joshua woke up with a strange peace he hadn't felt in weeks. He reached for his phone and texted Amma, "Babe, I don't know how to explain this, but God just reminded me of something. Nothing is impossible with him. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I believe he's going to make a way." When Amma saw the message, she burst into tears. She immediately called him. "Joshua, you're not going to believe this." She told him about the scripture. They both sat in silence on the phone, thousands of miles apart, feeling the presence of God in a way they hadn't felt in months. Peace settled over their hearts. Not because the problems disappeared, not because the visa was suddenly approved, not because their families stopped doubting, but because they chose to trust that the God who brought them together would finish what he started. And then, slowly but surely, God began to move. Joshua's mother had a dream one night. In the dream, she saw Amma standing in their kitchen, laughing and cooking with her. When she woke up, she told Joshua's father, "I don't know what it means, but I felt peace in that dream. Real peace. Maybe we've been too hard on him. Maybe God is in this." When they video called Amma properly for the first time, her grace and genuine love for their son softened their hearts. By the end of the call, Joshua's mother was smiling. "She's lovely, son. Truly lovely." In Accra, Amma's pastor unexpectedly called her one Sunday after service. "Sister Amma, I've been praying about your situation. I know someone who recently went through the visa process successfully. Let me connect you." That connection led to proper guidance and a clearer application. Then, out of nowhere, Amma's younger sister came to her with an envelope. "Sister, I've been saving. I know you didn't want to take Joshua's money, so take mine. I want to help you." Amma cried and hugged her tightly. One by one, the doors that had been closed began to open. Amma reapplied for the visa, this time with everything in order, with prayers covering every step. The waiting period felt like an eternity. She checked her email obsessively, prayed constantly, and then, one afternoon, the email came. Visa approved. She screamed so loud her siblings came running into the room. She couldn't even explain through her tears. She just showed them the screen. Joshua's family prepared everything for her arrival. The morning he drove to the Nashville airport, his hands shook on the steering wheel. He prayed the entire drive. God, thank you. Thank you for making a way. On the plane, Amma clutched her Bible and prayed through the turbulence, through the nerves, through the overwhelming reality that she was about to meet the man she had loved from across an ocean. When Amma stepped out of the arrivals gate and saw Joshua standing there holding a bouquet of sunflowers because she once mentioned they were her favorite, they both froze. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Joshua walked toward her, and Amma dropped her bag and ran. They embraced for the first time, and it felt like coming home. Amma whispered through tears, "Look what God has done." Joshua held her tighter and replied, "He made a way where there was no way." Their story became a testimony, not just to them, but to Joshua's parents who wept when they met Amma in person, to Amma's family back in Accra who video called and saw the joy on her face, to friends who had doubted, and to everyone who had wondered if love across continents could survive. Because when God is in it, distance is nothing. Delays are just setups for miracles, and closed doors are simply God's way of preparing you for the right one to open. If something in your life feels impossible, your visa, your relationship, your dreams, your future, remember Amma and Joshua. What is impossible for man is still possible for God. He sees you, He hears your midnight prayers, and He is working behind the scenes even when you cannot see it. If this story blessed you, subscribe and join our family of believers who walk by faith, not by sight.